Hello, everybody, and welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. My name is Steve, presenter of the show, and I've got one of our members, Andy. And check out the memberships. Only 99 pence, as they say in the UK. You get 30 member videos per month, behind the scenes stuff, and also another perk of the membership, which is kind of brand new, is that Lee has this new sexy studio kind of thing. And he said something along the lines of that, we'd be inviting certain members to do content and videos with us over there in downtown Newcastle. So even though I'm a full member of it and I'm part of the YouTube team, if you as a member, if you live in Newcastle, you might get invited there to do exclusive videos and stuff. So there you go. That's one of the benefits of it. So definitely consider checking that out. Now, we're going to do Premier League predictions and talk about transfer, the windows of each team and whatnot. But I've got Andy with me. How you doing?
I'm fine, Steve. Hoping everyone's well.
Absolutely. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up top. Who do you think is definitely nailed on to get relegated? I'm just going to make it easy for everyone. At least I think Fulham are down. I don't know. What do you think, Andy? I just can't trust them to stay up. I just can't.
I put them in the bracket between 11th, 17th bracket and the relegation. I think they'll get goals. If Mitrovic stays fit, he's proved. If you give him service, he'll get your goals. So
you think he's got?
You could make an argument for putting him in either one of them last two brackets, mate. But I don't know. I've got a sneaky suspicion Fulham might stay up.
Okay, well, I'll give you this one. Because I already made my predictions, so this will be kind of more yours. But there are going to be ones that I definitely agree with on you. So Andy thinks Fulham will stay up. So what? You think 17th? You think they'll just skin it?
Yeah, if they do go down, I don't think they're going to be 20th or 19th. I think they're going to be 18th, 17th, 16th in the league. They're going to have a tough season, but they've got a good coach. They've spent some money. It's going to remain to be seen whether they've got the supply power to give Mitrovic the supply that they need. So be an interesting one. And from my experiences, they've got a good atmosphere at Craven Cottage, haven't they?
Yeah,
that could be the home form. Excuse me.
Home form keeps you up.
Home form could be the thing that keeps them up in the league, I think.
Yeah, I mean they've did some good business. Manor Solomon on loan from Shakhtar Donetsk, the Israeli international. He's a cracking little player. That I think that's a good move. They brought in Burton Leno from Arsenal. So that's a pretty pretty good goalkeeper. Just never really found his feet at Arsenal, I guess. But I think for Fulham, that'll be just fine. Mbabu, also from VfL Wolfsburg. It's only $6 million. That is US, but whatever. That he'll be there starting right back. I mean, he's a very good player, very quick. Defensively, he's okay too. Contributes a lot in the attack. Good crosser of the ball. Andreas Pereira and João Palhinha from Sporting Club de Portugal. That's a good signing also. So they are strengthening, and they already do have some good players. I guess what I personally would go down, why I would have them down, is just because I can't trust them. And I think losing Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool is also a pretty big blow for them. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'd like to say that they'll probably do a little bit more business before the window's shut as well. You'd say the first 11, if the first 11's out every week, they'll stay up. But it's what the squad's going to be able to cope with.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, so we've got Fulham there, probably in 17th, but in this range. Who do you think is going down? I'll do this. I'll give you a suggestion, and then you tell me where you'd like it. I think Everton are going down.
You're obsessed with Everton going down, aren't you?
I'm not obsessed with it. I just think it's going to happen. I thought it was last year, and I was so close.
I'd be perfectly honest with you.
To be fair, Andy, I had financial reasons for
I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you to a degree.
Okay.
Simply because I think it'll depend on how long they stick with Lampard.
Yeah. And how long Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured for, because he's out for a month.
He's just picked up an injury today, hasn't he, or yesterday in training?
He's out for the first month.
Straight away, that's not a great sign. What have they got in reserve going up top? Not a great deal. And he's not fit either.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a youngin, or it's gonna be they don't have a Richarlison anymore. They don't have who are they? Literally, I actually don't know.
They'd be crying out for Victor Nichibi to come back. It's going back to the squads, mate. You know, Calvert-Lewin, regardless of what we all, we were being linked with him in no way, shape, or form. He's good in the air.
He's a good aerial target, and when he connects, he's in form, he's a good player.
Yeah. If you give him the right supply, you'll keep you up in the league. That's one definite thing that you could say about Calvert-Lewin. You keep you up.
Yes.
However, I honestly do believe that it's going to come down to how long they persist with Lampard. Because I just think he's out of his depth.
I don't even know if
he's in an environment that he's not used to.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't know if. Look, at Everton, and Everton fans will agree with me on this, Lampard is not the biggest problem. No matter what manager I think you put in Fulham, or no matter who you buy, the owners of the club are the problem. Mashiri. I mean, correct. If you look at the money that they've spent, they've actually spent gross money on players, the amount. They've spent more than Liverpool in the past 10 years. Or 5.
Something like £580 million in 6 years. You know, I had a look a while ago, and they've got something like 20 players that cost them more than £20 million in their squad.
And they got one from Burnley, Dwight McNeil, for $20 million. He had 1 assist last year. I'm not convinced by that signing.
You've got to question who's signing these players.
Yes, and I think Mashiri, from what I've heard from Everton fans, Mashiri dips his toes way too much into it, and Bill Kentright, I think, is the other guy. He's been there since the 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just been a steady decline. And I don't know. There's a lot of issues going on at Everton. I think regardless of what Lampard does, I think just and the transfer window's been pretty diabolical for them.
I think it's inevitable that they will pull the trigger at some point in the season, but I think the biggest decision that Everton are going to have to make in their Premier League history up to this point is who they're going to bring in. Do they go for another, fashionable signing like a Marco Silva, for example, like they've done in the past? Or do they do another Sam Allardyce type signing? Someone that knows the Premier League, can come in for 12 to 18 months, keep them in the league, stabilise them, they get the financial situation sorted, and then they kick on again in a couple of years. This is in a massive season for them. We could be seeing this, and they could finish in the top half. You just never know, But they are a side that I really.
You think you would go into this with the signings of Tarkowski, Dwight McNeil, and Ruben Vinagre from Sporting Club de Portugal? Do you think that's enough for them to survive?
The argument I would make for you there is Tarkowski. If he wasn't on a free transfer, you would be probably looking at a big fee for him. However, you look at Everton's starting centre halves next season will be Michael Keane, Godfrey, and Tarkowski. 2 of them were Burnley centre halves a few seasons ago.
Michael Keane cost a pretty penny too, $30 million, I think, at least on him.
Yeah, Tarkowski, main bulk of his career has been lower end of the Premier League. Championship football, and you could say the same against Godfrey as well. So, are them 3 really? Mina, for me, when he's in their team, they're a different side at the back. Keep him fit, you've got to find a chance.
But that's, for me, like at Newcastle, right? We have Callum Wilson. When he plays, he's typically quite good, but he never stays fit. So it's always it's never unreasonable to have a debate whether we actually keep the guy at the club. Why would you? It's such a difficult position for Everton to be in because that obviously is their best center half, but he's not available. You'd rather have an average or dependable 6 or 7 out of 10 that's available, because availability is better than sitting on the bench injured. That's the biggest problem. So if your best defender is unreliable in terms of availability and injuries,
I'd be very surprised if Everton did not finish in them bottom 2 categories.
Yeah. So where are you putting them? Where are you?
I'd put them in the same category as Fulham as it stands.
Do you think Fulham will finish above or below?
Yeah, I do actually.
You think Fulham will finish?
Yeah, I believe that they'll finish above, and I think their style of football.
16th,
16th and 17th. Say Everton 17th, Fulham 16th, or 16th and 15th, something like that. But I mean, Everton, you look at it; they have got the ability to finish rock bottom, depending on what their squad.
Yeah.
What happens in their squad? They might go out and spend some money in the last. We've got to remember we're doing this, and there's nearly a month left in the transfer window.
There's still a month left. Yeah, the end of August is the transfer window closing. Yeah. All right, fair enough. Well, the other team that I went with to get relegated is it's Southampton. I think I have them finishing 18th, I believe. Where do you have them? Where do you have them going?
I might agree with you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some good signings. I will say that they made some good signings. I really like the signing of Armel Kotchap from VfL Bochum. Very good young defender. I think he has the potential to be a German international signing in a few. He really does have that kind of potential. He's been getting consistent first-team minutes with Bochum ever since they were in the second division, and he's been very good for them. So I think that's a good signing. I really like the Joe Aribo signing from Rangers, 25-year-old Nigerian midfielder. He's very, very talented. So
Aribo's
that gets them. Aribo, yeah. I like also the signing of Sekou Mara from Bordeaux, who recently got relegated to Ligue 2. Had only 6 goals last year, but he is still a 19-year-old. But I think he's a very good finisher. And one thing that he did at Bordeaux was score a lot of scrappy goals. And those are going to be important, obviously. He's a guy who knows where the back of the net is. He's got very good instincts, and I think he's very talented. So I think that was worth the risk at about £10 million. And then
my concerns for them is his goals. If what's his name? Che Adams, thank you. Gets injured. Not just the goal contribution for him, but the work rate, the way he holds off defenders,
the endeavor.
Into play. He's a big part of it. And Stuart Armstrong, when they play together, they really do make a difference. They run the channels very, very nicely. They keep defenders on their toes. That's something they always do. Even if they have a bad game, they're always trying to do something, either with their movement or something like that. And they're very on and off on the Southampton. You can watch them one week and they're very aesthetically pleasing on the eye, and then they go through a phase of 6 weeks where they'll probably pick up a point here and get battered away from home.
11. They had a run last year where they went 11 winless.
Yeah, I think that they could be another one of them next season. I hope not, because for me they're a team that I think they're a massive club for me. A team that, if you've been watching football since the early 90s, Southampton are a Premier League side. Right. But I fear for them this season.
You think they're going to go down? So you wouldn't put them here?
I think there's a list of 5 or 6 teams, and I think they're one of them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Moving on. Who did I have in 17th to barely survive? I believe it was... Let me check here. It was... Who the hell was it? I think I had Nottingham Forest barely surviving.
I read a stat today.
Where do you have them?
They are the highest by Sky Bet, I think it was. There's more bets being put on Nottingham than any other side to finish in the top 4 at 200-1. I know, crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
They're the biggest backside outside of the normal to finish in the top 4.
Wow.
When you think, I mean, they've made a heck of a lot of signings, but I mean that's getting a bit.
£82 million spent in the summer, so they're getting the investment and the backing. And obviously, we have them in the first game of the season too, so we'll see what they're all about.
I think you're a category 2 low for them.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I honestly believe that they could
top 10,
10th at best. I think you're probably
8 to 10. Yeah.
I think the 10th at best. They could fall short. It's all going to come down to keeping the best 11 fit. The manager's the top manager. I think he's going to have a good future. They've got some good young players. It's going to come down to the problem that you've got is as much as they've spent money, not a lot of the players that they brought in have got Premier League experience. Right. And a lot of the players that are in the squad haven't got a lot of Premier League experience. But what they have got is momentum on the side. And if, as a neutral, looking at the cup run last season, they're a side I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, same here. I mean, the thing is that I think even though they lost like James Garner, who was on loan from Man United, he had a very good season for them as their starting number 6. Obviously, Jed Spence, who was on loan from Middlesbrough, he went to Spurs. I think they replace those guys pretty accurately. I mean, Musa Niakate. Huh?
They've just signed Tavernier from Middlesbrough, haven't they?
Yeah, Marcus Tavernier. Yeah, I think that's a good pickup. My favorite signing that they've made is Musa Niakate from Mainz. I've been watching this guy for years. He's brute force, man, and he's a natural leader. He was captain at Mainz, and he earned that position pretty early. He's been their captain for about, I think, 3 or 4 seasons now. He's a very, very strong, good presence at the back, very aware, catches things. He puts out fires. That's what I'll say about him. He's very, very good at just getting rid of danger and smelling it out. So I really like that signing a lot.
I think they're a side that they might concede a few. You might see the odd game where they do take a bit of a.
But almost every promoted side has that. So
exactly, they expect a pummeling, as I would say. But I don't think they're going to be an easy team to break down. I think they're going to compete in games, right. And if you're going to beat them, you're going to know you're in a game with them. I think it's just quality that might let them down in the final third. But I mean, Lingard signed for them, so he clearly has been sold a project, or he's been shown a checkbook. One of the two.
It's on him, man. It's on him. Let's see. Who did I have next? Let's talk some Villa. Where you got Villa?
We were talking before the video. Now, this is a team I think on paper you would be looking even above us to kind of break into the top 6 as our squads stand. You know, you've got Barley. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Leon Bailey. Yeah.
Leon Bailey. Yeah.
If they can keep him fit, he's a weapon. And you've got the likes of Coutinho, Ollie Watkins, Danny Ings. You've got goals there. You've got the Ramsey, McGinn. Yeah. On paper, they should be the side that, with us, are looking to break into that European spot. But I don't know what it is. I just get the feeling that they're not gonna. I think where you are there, I think to the lower echelon to 10th, 11th,
17th.
Yeah, but I think that there's going to be periods where they're going to
finish above Everton and Fulham.
Yeah, they'll finish above them too, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even on a bad day. I think they're better than them too.
Yeah,
because they've got that quality in the side.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at some of their transfers, they obviously got Diego Carlos from Sevilla. They made Philip Coutinho a permanent signing from Barcelona. 17 million. Robin Olsen, they brought. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, mate. I'd actually stick them with Forest. I really do. I honestly don't think
10. Okay.
Yeah, the squad's quite good as well. You know, if Ings is injured, they've got Watkins to come in, vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've got the likes of Al Ghazi. He's returned from his loan.
Okay.
He's got a record of getting goals when he's asked upon, so I think they'll do well. But I don't know what it is, mate. You look at that side last season, and you look at the starting 11. Do you not think they underachieved last season?
They did underachieve, I think.
We ended up finishing above Villa.
Yeah. And they beat us at their place. We beat them at their place, yeah. Or we beat them at St. James's Park, yeah. So I think they did underachieve, but I think part of that was probably just because Dean Smith got sacked and then Gerrard came in January and just kind of took some getting used to. Yeah, transition, exactly. They got some, yeah, you're right. They got some really, really good players. I would agree with you on that. I think I had them 11. I think I had them 17th, but
you look at their back four.
What do you think Villa's ceiling is? The absolute highest they can finish.
Eighth, seventh. Yeah, I struggle. I think a lot of the teams that were within touching distance last season have now improved.
Yeah.
Arsenal. Teams like that. Yeah. You know what? You don't know if they're going to do any more business, because there's one thing that they can't be criticised for is being ambitious and investing. I mean, Camara could be he could be signing the season when you consider it's a free.
He's such a good. Oh my God, unreal player.
Not saying that he's gonna reach the heights of any of the top players, but when you consider value for money, if he replicates form that he does for France and he did in Ligue 1, then it's a great bit of business to attract them. We were well interested in him, and it gives that license to Coutinho, who really is their kingpin.
Mm-hmm. One of the talking points about Villa, actually, because this is something Gerrard did recently, there were two things. Number one, he had the rule, I don't know if you saw it, but he had a bunch of rules for the guys. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you directly about your opinion was he took Tyrone Mings' captaincy away from him and gave it to John McGinn. What do you think of that?
Putting his stamp on things, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
It's,
so you
it's
like
change,
that? You rate
change of mindset from Dean. And I don't disagree with these things. If me and you turn up late for work, we have to make that time back, or we get disciplined, or whatever it be. What's 200? What was it? Something like £50 a minute, or whatever it is, if you're late for a bus.
If you're late, if you don't dress properly, if you got to wear sandals in the shower and just stuff like that.
It's just routines and a little bit of discipline. And I learned early in life when I was in certain cadets and everything. It matters, and it does affect your performance, because you're not letting your manager down, you're letting your teammates down.
And the fans too.
The bus is sitting there waiting for you, and you're the one that's late on the bus. You're going to hear about it later on.
Absolutely. All right, so Villa finishing 8th. Final position on Villa. So you think they'll finish above Forest?
Yeah.
9.
9. Yeah, I would say 9th, 10th. I think there could be a point in the season where people are talking about them finishing the Europa League, but I just think injuries. It's all going to come down to the likes of Leon Bailey, Danny Ings. Danny Ings is well known for not staying fit. Leon Bailey the same. Coutinho, he can be out of a game for 89 minutes and then just turn up. But if
moment of magic,
to lose him, Buendia's a very good player, but he's not Coutinho. And I think if Coutinho does get an injury, they're going to have to rethink the way they play. Yeah, because I think the whole, the way that Gerrard's thinking his team's going to play is all going to go through Coutinho. This is why he's signed someone like Camara to break the game up, give him a license to do what he wants, really.
Cameron does the dirty work.
I think he really is key. And I mean, they've got 2 proven goal scorers in the Premier League for me, and I think that's part of their issue as well. He does try to play them both when I think he's going to have to bite the bullet and pick one of them.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Next up, let's talk some Leeds. Let's talk some Leeds. Where you got them?
I've got them to go down.
Oh, okay. You got Leeds going down. So my first question,
spent a lot of money.
Huh?
I know they've spent a lot of money, but I just think a lot of the players that they're bringing in, mate, are by the time they catch up to the Premier League, it might be too late.
Okay. Now, what do you think with the departures? Is that also why you're going down? Because basically they're replacing Rafinha with Brendan Aaronson's more of an attacking mid. So here's what Leeds have done. Brendan Aronson from RB Salzburg, very expensive, 36 million. Luis Sinisterra, I rate that transfer very, very highly. Very good player from Feyenoord. So he's the left wing. Defensive midfield, they brought in Tyler Adams on the for the right back. They brought Rasmus Christensen, also from RB Salzburg. Mark Roca, defensive midfield also. So clearly they're going with that 4-2-3-1, and Roca and Tyler Adams will be those two. And then they also got Darko Gyabi, a center mid, 18 years old from the Man City U23s. So that's what they've done.
The big thing for me is what was the problem last season?
Defending.
For me, their main problem.
They conceded 79 last year, and I think only Norwich conceded more at 84. So to me, last year was defending. And
to be honest, you're probably right. I was going to turn around and say, well, Patrick Bamford being injured, they didn't have a goal threat other than Rafinha.
Yes.
Now, if Bamford stays fit, fantastic. But I will say one thing. I never thought Patrick Bamford was as good as he proved to be in his first season, Leeds' first season back when he got 17 goals. We could argue that a lot of that was down to Rafinha's service and the way that Bielsa played, back and forward. They were super fit.
Mm-hmm.
For me, can Bamford, it's a little bit like Wilson, can Bamford be trusted to stay fit? Yeah. And not only that, it was a problem for them last season and they haven't addressed it yet.
Right. They haven't brought in any strikers. That's true. Yeah. They did bring in. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of Tyler Adams. We were having a chat before we went live, and I think he's the type of player that, give him a few months, he will catch up with the Premier League. But unfortunately, I think by that point, it might be a little bit too late for them.
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong because, they're the nearest club to Newcastle in the Premier League. It's a good away day. It's not 5 hours to go, and
yeah.
They're a massive team, and I hope I'm wrong on this one, but I really don't.
I hope I'm wrong for the American sake of it, because you know that it'll make it, if Leeds have a very good season and continue to do good things, that only helps the game in America and the reputation of it being like, oh, maybe American players aren't that bad, or managers, and so obviously that benefits me, but So
I also worry about the mindset in the squad when you consider that 2 of the best players have left. Right?
Yeah.
Not 2 of the best. They're 2 out-and-out best players have left.
Yeah.
And then you're also looking at the speculation of Harrison leaving. The goalkeeper, if potentially, Leicester after the goalkeeper, you could look at them.
That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So you're going to take Leeds down? Above or below Southampton?
I think the 20th or 19th. So I really don't think it matters what order. I think they just go down.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's go to another relegation candidate, possibly.
Angela's going to hate me after she watches this.
What about Brent? What do you think of Brentford? Brentford. Got them going down? No?
11th, 17th.
11th, 17th. Okay. Give me your thoughts on Brentford.
I think that they've been smart in the window, haven't they? They're getting Ben Mee in, who, proven Premier League defender. All right, he's not going to take you into the top 6 or anything like that, but he's proven. But from what we hear, he's captain. He was a captain at Burnley, if I believe. I might be wrong there. I'm sure he was captain at Burnley. Good character to have in the dressing room. I think he's going to add some experience to Brentford.
Yeah.
They're literally on the verge of signing Ramsgaard from Sampdoria.
Yeah.
Who we all know is a decent player, and he's very like Eriksen. So it's not like they're changing the style of play too much. Yeah. They did have a
Damsgaard's more of on the wing though, so he'll be more of balls into the box compared to Eriksen, where he would dribble and be more of a playmaker. But yeah, I know what you mean. He's a good player. Good sign.
The fact that they're so organised and they have an identity will be the thing that keeps them up.
I agree. They're a very strong team at home. Very strong team at home.
The one thing that you would say about them is if Ivan Toney gets injured,
what do you do?
Struggle. Yeah.
Okay.
But I enjoy watching them play. I think the manager's a character. I like the way he conducts himself. And I'd like to see them stay up as well. So I might be thinking a little bit more with my heart and my head on this one, but I'd like to see them stay up
too. I think they'll definitely stay up. I think I had them in my predict. I had them 12th. I think they really are gonna crack on. I mean, they finished 14th last year, so they've I don't know. They're a very well run club. I like the way they play. They're very organized. You're right. They have a very clear identity. And I think Ivan Toney, he's going to have to – he's done his first season, and maybe that's the stress out of the way, and he can just go on. Because for Brentford, it was all about just survive. And now there are a bunch of teams where it's like – I think that they've changed the perception of them. Like, I don't think too many people are talking about them have second season syndrome or whatever. I don't see that in this side because they don't have this crazy way of playing. Like with Leeds suffered because they lost Bielsa. Once they figured out how to play against Bielsa, then they started to struggle and had that second season syndrome, kind of thing going on.
They're very organised, aren't they, Brentford? It's not very often you see them sliced open. The one thing that you've just said there made a very good point. Second season syndrome. It's as much as it's a laughable myth, it's proven to keep happening to sides. Sheffield United after their great season that they had. But I think they're a good footballing side as well, and they have got some good players. Simon Kier from Celtic.
I like Johan. I think,
Ria, the goalkeeper, is a good player. Norgard, good player. Yeah. Good tidy on the ball. Tidy.
Yeah. No, he's a good player. I think they have more than enough personally. But yeah, I would agree with you. So do you think they'll finish above Everton, Fulham?
Yeah. I do.
I do too.
Yeah. I don't think does it really matter the order. We're just picking categories now. I mean, I'm going to get nailed if I get them wrong, mate. So we'll just go category.
I'll
get my crystal ball out next week.
Another side to discuss. Let's do Palace. Where do you got them? Do you think they're in any relegation trouble or anything?
To be honest, the side I've never really taken any notice of in pre-season. Simply, they went under the radar last season, and I think they're probably doing that again pre-season. Vieira's done when you look at how their squad was capitulated, they lost 12 senior players last summer.
Yeah.
And they managed to, they finished 12th last season, 13th.
Yep. Yeah, 12th, I believe. I have them surviving comfortably.
And I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly who they brought in. So one side I've not really took much notice of, but I think their manager's experience and the squad experience they've got, they'll stay up. I don't expect them getting in the top half, and I don't expect them going down. So I think you bang on there, 11th, 17th. And they could finish in the middle of Brentford, Everton, in the middle of Everton, Fulham. They could finish anywhere in that order.
Yeah. You don't think they'll go down though? You don't think?
No, I don't think they'll
yeah,
go down.
I don't either. I think they're far too good.
Vieira's well connected in the Premier League. They will address a couple of issues that they have in regards to. I think they've got one of the best young centre halves in the league. They need to probably get a little bit more experience at the back.
They brought in Chris Richards from Bayern München, 22-year-old USA centre back for about $13 million. Yeah, I watched him at Hoffenheim, and he was he was starting consistently for them, and they finished pretty well in the Bundesliga. So I rate him pretty highly, taking the bias out of it. So I think that's going to be a very good signing for them. He's very good with the ball at his feet, makes good decisions. He's another one of those guys where he cleans up messes, but he's going to be important for the way they play. I think definitely keep an eye on him and Gay. He could form a very, very young, but a fearless center back combo. I really I think they're going to do bits. I really do.
I think Edouard has got a kick on this season.
Same with Mateta, Jean-Philippe Mateta.
I'm a fan of Mateta, actually.
I think he's good too.
I think he's one thing. I think if you're a centre half, he may not get beyond you and he may not turn you, but you've had a game against him. He puts himself about. He's a bit of a fox in the box. He's a powerful lad. I just think Vieira needs to pull out another one of their magic loans or a shrewd signing. Like someone like another Conor Gallagher, for example.
Okay.
They might even go back in for him, get him on another season loan. Chelsea are looking to get Luke De Jong, not Luke De Jong, sorry, Frankie De Jong from Barcelona. They're supposedly ahead of Man United in the running. So Chelsea are going to have a lot of midfielders. And I can't imagine Conor Gallagher wanting to sit on the bench when there's a World Cup coming up.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that could be another, absolutely. I think that benefit club and country in his case and in Chelsea's case, definitely.
And he definitely connected with the fans. I mean, you've seen that, didn't you?
Yeah. So I think one signing also, and I think another signing, a potential signing of the season, starting 11 kind of thing. I mean, Cheik Doucouré, I watched him at Lens. The guy was absolutely phenomenal. Seko Fofana, who I rate also very highly, he's been tremendous in the 2 years that Lens have played in back in Liga. And he won the African Player of the Year last year, but when he was accepting the award, he was like, look, Doucouré, he's better than I am. He's the guy who goes under the radar. I mean, the guy can score screamers. He's very, very – he's aggressive, but he's disciplined. He's very, very disciplined. He could do a bit of everything. I think.
If Fofana's saying that, mate, I'm a fan as well because I'm a massive fan of Fofana. So
no, those guys were absolutely. Those guys were absolutely phenomenal to watch. So I think
you probably say they're the stronger of them four sides in that category. I'll be honest, simply because of
I agree. Yeah,
and the influence and the only thing I will say about him is goalkeeper.
Yeah, they signed Sam Johnston.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I'll just shut up on that subject then.
Because I think, were you going to say Guaita was, I like Guaita. I think
I like Guaita, but he does miss it. He does miss games quite regularly, doesn't he? And I wasn't.
So that's why they brought in Sam Johnston on free. Anymore. Yeah.
So, it's the one team in the Premier League that I've just not taken any notice of. I don't know why. You're gonna
take notice of them on Friday when they beat Arsenal 2-1. They're gonna win that game, bro. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win that game.
Big statement.
They beat them 3-0 last year, and they've gotten better. We'll get on to Arsenal later, but
yeah,
I think Palace could do some exciting things. Maybe they could be one of those.
They're definitely a club, and they've got it. The direction that they're moving in is upwards, not backwards.
It's upwards, yeah, exactly.
Under Roy Hodgson, they were just stagnating.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, speaking of a club that's kind of stagnating that we were talking before we did the video, what do you think of Wolves? No business done in this window, really. Nothing crazy. They signed Nathan Collins from Burnley. trying to think what else they honestly did. I mean, what do you think of Wolves?
I definitely think the
11 to
category
17.
that you put them in is the right one.
Yeah.
You could make an argument. You could make an argument for really either way, up or down. I mean, I've watched some YouTubers have them in the bottom three. I think that's a little bit drastic. But you've got, if you're a player in that squad, you have got to be looking at going, Are we got any ambition here? What's going on? You know, we've cemented our place in the Premier League. We've finished in the top half for 2 seasons in a row. We've had Europa League football, or your Conference League football.
No, it was Europa League. They lost to Sevilla in the quarterfinal. Yeah. 3 years ago. Yeah,
they should have been doing the business that Villa's been doing. You know,
they've got very rich owners too. The Chinese guys that back them, they're billionaires. Yeah.
Or, you know, is it the style of football thing that players are looking at and going, well, you know, they're not the greatest side to watch, are they? Let's be honest. You know, a lot of the games
they're
are 1-1,
very good counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
Very good counter-attacking, and they're organized. Yeah.
It's a hard one there. It's a really hard one because if history's to tell you anything, you'd be putting them in, you know, Europa League spot to 8th, you know, but I think so many teams around them are catching up, or not catching, caught up. So yeah, I think you're probably right with your prediction there. I'm not going to argue with that one, and it's hard to really add anything to Wolves because nothing's happened.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, and then, I think Palace will finish above Wolves, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, like you said, Palace, I think, are on the rise. Everything they're doing is seeming they want to be more ambitious. At Wolves, it's just, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Exactly. And then to finish off part 1 of the video, because it is a bit long, so I'll split it into 2 parts. We'll do 10 teams here, and then we'll do a separate video of the next 10.
Cool.
So we'll talk Brighton. We'll talk Brighton. Where do you see Brighton?
Again, another side that are...
It literally, for me, Brighton, sometimes they play like this. Sometimes they're on a run of form where it's like, what the hell? So it's very hard to gauge with Brighton. I don't know. What do you think? Where you got them?
I think where you are there is right.
Okay.
However, you just don't know there with Brighton.
Right.
You know, they went out 2 seasons ago and spent money on Maupay, Veltman, Byrne, and thinking of the other one. Anyways, none of them really you thought, wow. Maupay, yes, was big money, but you didn't think, okay, this is going to take them to the next level where they're not looking over the shoulders, and they have a tendency to start off very well, don't they? And then they kind of plateau at the end of the season, and the league position suffers.
Yeah.
Do you see them having a run at the beginning of the season based on the business that they've done, bearing in mind Cucurella's okay, it's not confirmed yet, but going to be leaving.
Yeah.
They lost one of the big players in Dan Burn. Now, he might not have been a starter every week for them, but he was certainly a big player for Brighton. They haven't really replaced him. For me, they've got a striker there that will get you 10 to 12 goals a season if he stays fit in Welbeck, and he adds a new different dimension to them next to Maupay. But the problem that you've got is with Welbeck, it's the same problem you've got with Wilson. Can you keep him fit? And outside of the top 6, you could probably say Brighton probably play the best football in the league.
Yeah. I honestly,
if they could finish their chances, you know.
Yeah.
It's very they don't look over the shoulder. The ball's straight to the other side of the pitch. They know where everyone is. Probably one of the best coached teams in the league for me. I really do enjoy watching Brighton play. The one thing, it's a little bit like a boxer that jabs a lot, hits a lot, but never knocks the opponent out.
Right.
And and this might be the season that catches up to them in a sense where their league position suffers. I don't think they're a threat of relegation, but I will say one thing.
I think they're far too good defensively. Yeah.
Trossard, for example, if they lose him and Cucurella, then they may suffer. It's all going to really depend on what's happening between now and the end of the season.
Yes.
The end of the season.
Transfer window.
I'm on the moment.
Right. Some guys that I really like that they got. They've made 2 signings for money. They bought Simon Adingra from Nordjylland in Denmark, 20-year-old Ivorian left winger. I've heard great things about him. And then a player I have watched a little bit of in the Copa Libertadores is Julio Enciso from Club Libertad in Paraguay, who actually did very well in the Libertadores. And I believe he played a few games in the Copa Sudamericana, but I think that kid's pretty talented, 18-year-old second striker. Bought him for about 12 million. Usually when Brighton make those kind of signings, they're very, they're very good, shrewd business. So
they're a really well-run club.
That's the other thing, too, why I think they're completely safe of relegation, because they're a very, very well-run club. Another forward I like that they got, technically it was a loanee return, but it's Denis Undav from Union Saint-Gilloise, who beat Rangers the other night. So that tells you all about, how he did. He had 41 games last year in all competitions for Union Saint-Gilloise, scored 27. I know it's the Belgian league, but it was a recently promoted side, and they finished second after all of that.
The chances that he creates, if he's scoring goals like that, he'll get goals.
Yeah, exactly. So Denis Undav could be the solution to Brighton's goal-scoring complications. So I think, I would agree with you, 11 to 17. So that'll conclude part 1 of this video, because we're at 47 minutes. But be ready for part 2, guys, and then we'll talk about the other 10 teams. So, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on part